This is devotional number 202, and today's date is March 7th, 2017. We are looking at a passage in Jude, Jude 13 and also 21 this week. And in Jude 13, we find a number of phrases. One of them, which we looked at yesterday, is raging waves of the sea. And this particular term actually is only used in this verse. It's Strong's number 66, raging. But when we went to the Old Testament, we saw in Isaiah 57:20 a passage that helps us to understand the raging of these waves. We read there, "But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt." And in this verse, troubled and cast up is the Hebrew word 1644. And there's another passage that we can look at in Deuteronomy 33:27, where this same verse or same word appears, and here it's translated a little differently. It's translated, "and he shall thrust out." And this is a beautiful verse that underscores the unfortunate end of the non-elect and the rock-solid hope that each child of God possesses. "The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy before thee, and shall say, destroy them." We also find the same word, 1644, in Jonah 2:4 as part of Jonah's prayer to God while in the whale's belly. And we know that the whale's belly is a spiritual portrait of Christ in hell, which is the grave, prior to the foundation of the world. "Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple." We should also note that, coming back to Jude 13, this word for raging, Strong 66, has a root word, which is Strong's 68, which is interesting because it's rendered most of the time as field. And we know that the spiritual definition of field is the world, according to Matthew 13:38 and other passages. And the field produces two types of spiritual plants. There are two types of spiritual plants in the world, and this has always been the case. One are the good seed, or the elect, and the other are the tares, or the non-elect. And they are also typified by false prophets here in Jude, who are represented by the raging waves of the sea or the grave, because they are spiritually dead. Matthew 13:38 says, "The field is the world. The good seed, the elect, are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one." Now, the next phrase we want to take a look at in Jude 13 is "foaming out their own shame," which again continues to use the analogy of the sea or hell by another word of "foaming out," which is 1890, which again is only found here in Jude 13. But its primary root word, since it is a compound word, is 875. And it's rendered two times as foameth and foaming in another historical parable which highlights the nature of salvation, which has to do with the man who had a son with an unclean spirit, and whom the Savior healed in verses 18 and 20 of Mark 9:17-27. And one of the multitude answered and said, "Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth, and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him, and when he saw him, straightway the spirit tare him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And oftentimes it hath cast him into the fire, and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us, and help us. Jesus said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out, and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried and rent him sore, and came out of him, and he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand, and lifted him up, and he arose.